James Saint asked me from the Facebook page at facebook.com/JustIncredibleTV. He asks, love your channel. Any advice, comments about leisure travel Dodge Class Bs? Thumbs up, man. They are beautiful units. Leisure travel, along with Pleasureway and many other of the major manufacturers, are made right here in Canada. They're very well built. And I looked at leisure travel as well as Pleasureway before I ended up getting this Explorer. And I would take either of them in a heartbeat. In fact, I prefer them over a lot of the other brands. I'd take a leisure travel or a Pleasureway over a Road Trek, I'll tell you that much. Very nice units, definitely. So thumbs up for me for that. Lee C58 says, good job. Where did you get that rubber floor and what sizes did it come in? Thanks. I got it at Princess Auto. There's lots of locations around. I don't know if they're in the States. I don't know what country you're in, but here in Canada, it's Princess Auto. And they're just on a big roll, just like if you were buying carpet from a carpet place or Home Depot, and you just pull out the rubber and they cut to size, whatever you want. So it was only like $5.99 a foot. So not too bad at all. You get different styles. You can get checker plate if you don't want the style that I have. There's other styles as well. J1 says, I have to ask you, how is it that you live in a van and have so much game? Well, J1, it's probably because I live in a van. You know it's true. Sherry Atwood says, question for your Q&A videos. You always talking about getting, I think she meant you're always talking about getting rid of junk, not carrying it and having a Class B so you don't accumulate junk. Is everything you have in your van, do you have any sort of storage anywhere else? Yes, Sherry, everything is in my van with the exception of a big steel platform for the outdoor stripper pole, which you guys have not seen on YouTube. Those of you on my Facebook page have already seen it, but it attaches to the stripper pole out back, and we're devising a storage carrying compartment underneath the back of the Explorer for me to store this in the future. And for now, that's sitting in my friend's place in his garage until we figure out how to store it with my vehicle. But other than that, no, everything is right here with me. If it can't fit in here, I don't need it. Bob Armstrong says, Justin, when you get a chance, I see that metal aluminum looking brick around your fireplace. What is its brand name? I've been looking for it. I want to use it behind my stove and around my sink in my RV. Okay, that would be this right here. He's talking about this, and it is from Home Depot. Of course, that doesn't mean it's in Home Depot where you live. I don't know where you live. If you're here in Canada, it's at Home Depot. But Canada and USA are very different countries and very different products, and even the same stores in both countries carry different products, different brand names. A lot of things are different. So I couldn't tell you for sure. I'm just telling you in Canada, they are at Home Depot. And you can get them in all sorts of different styles. Justin Carter says, I got hypothetical for your next Q&A. I guess you meant I got a hypothetical question for your next Q&A. Seems like all the fleet vans are going Euro. If you were offered any new chassis except the Chevy to do a dream build on, what would you pick? I'm leaning towards the ProMaster. You couple a stable... I don't know what you mean there. You couple a stable American badge. All right. You couple a stable American badge like Chrysler. Okay. Like Chrysler with French engineering and Mexican craftsmanship under Italian management. How could you go wrong? Few vans could win a beauty contest, but this thing is actually ugly enough to turn heads. Yeah. That's nice. The Ram van I'm in, and most of the Ram vans were manufactured here in Canada, so I'm proud to be driving this, knowing that it was built in Canada. It's a domestic vehicle, and I love the fact that it's North American engineered and built right here in Canada. And that gives me some pride. I don't want to drive something that was designed in Germany or Japan. I don't really care so much where it was built, just that the fact that most of the parts come from one area and when built in one continent. Mexico doesn't bother me so much. I mean, I'm glad this one was made in Canada, as all Dodge Ram vans were, except for some of them back in the early 70s were made in the States as well, but most were made here in Canada. But if I had to choose, yes, it would be the new ProMaster, but I will wait until they update the damn ugly front end on that thing. If you go online and Google 2015 Fiat Ducato, which is the European version of the ProMaster, it has an updated front grille and headlights, and it looks a million times better than the ProMaster that's on the road today. The rest of it's the same, but But I do like the ProMaster because it has a North American power plant under the hood, and it has a lot of upgrades over the European version, the Ducato, including a beefier suspension as well. So if I had to choose one, it would be that. Now, if only there was a way to shoehorn a Hemi engine in that thing, I would be in heaven. I'd like to get a Hemi in here, but it won't even fit in these things. Transit Shrooms asked me, I need some help, Just Incredible. I would love to know what brand of inverter you use for your solar. I just bought 4 6-volt deep cycle batteries. I'm getting overwhelmed by all the different brands. I'm finding different types like sine wave. All I need to run is, I guess you meant in your rig, is a mini fridge, the portable AC, well, that's a big one, the house lights, sometimes the juicer, 851. You have a juicer in your van, man? That's pretty amazing. House lights. I wouldn't be using house lights, I'd just be using the 12-volt lights that are already in your rig and replacing them with LEDs. They can use 1 to 3 watts apiece. I certainly wouldn't waste energy on a house bulb. But as far as the mini fridge, if it's a house mini fridge and a portable air conditioning, you're going to need at least, I mean, depending on your AC, if you get lucky like my AC, it'll run off less than 1,000 watts, but the startup of most ACs are well over 1,000 watts, so I'm going to say that to be safe, you're going to want 3,000 watt inverter for most ACs. I don't know about yours. But if you're going to run your AC off your batteries, you better have a lot of batteries too, and a lot of solar. Most people can't run AC off batteries for very long who've tried it. And you better be dead in the middle of a sunny day with tons of solar and tons of batteries to even attempt that. It's usually just not efficient at all. But as far as the types of inverters go, I don't have anything inverted. I went through this just recently actually in a video. Everything I have is 12 volt. And the only inverter I have is just a little dinky, cheap $30, $40, 300 watt inverter. It's nothing special. It's not sine wave because I don't want or care about inverters. The only reason I own it is to charge my laptop. Everything else is 12 volt or USB like the phone is right now. And I plan to keep it that way. In fact, when I replace this laptop, I'm going to get a new laptop, and it's going to I'm going to get the 12 volt adapter, so I don't even need the inverter anymore, and I can throw it away. In my opinion, if it needs to be inverted, I certainly don't need it. It's just going to take space, and it's just to clutter my life. Like I don't feel any need for something like juicers or toasters or anything like that. So I can get a stovetop toaster if I want, and so I am not the guy to ask for that sort of thing because I try to keep energy to a minimum, and I try to do everything as efficiently as I can, and I've learned that I don't need all those bells and whistles anymore. In fact, they just made things worse, and everything's much better, much happier when everything is simple and doesn't use much energy. It's all 12 volt, and I don't have to worry about it. Like the only time that I'd use the inverter is for the laptop. Like I said, I certainly wouldn't use a microwave or air conditioning off the inverter. It would just defeat the purpose. I mean, it would just use my entire battery banks in minutes if I tried to do that. So I wanted the efficient 1,000 watt generator, which is very quiet and just sips the fuel, to be able to run either of those when I need it. But at the same time, it's charging my battery while I'm using my AC or my microwave. It's not draining my batteries and killing the battery life very quickly on those. If you drain down your batteries below 50% a few times, you've pretty much killed your batteries. You have to replace them, and they're not cheap. So I wouldn't use an inverter for those sorts of things, to be honest. But I will tell you, if you're going to use all that stuff and you probably got some sensitive electronics and whatnot, get a sine wave inverter. They're always the best. Tin Can Campervan says, can you do a video on the top 10 Android apps for RVers, travelers, campers? Sorry, man, I don't have any RV apps aside from the Sandy Dump app. You can just look up Sandy Dumps on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store or whatever you're using. I'm sure it's on all the platforms. That's the only one I've downloaded that's specific to this lifestyle, I guess. Billy Bob says, it's so very cool that you and LS1, line screw one for everyone else, are doing the RVers Hands Across the Border meetup tour in Washington at such a cool park. Nice! I was about to go. Yeah, so we're, me and Andrew are actually going out there tomorrow, which might be today if you're watching this video right now. And we're going to scout out the location, so stay tuned for a video on that. Now, again, this is not going to be anything like what are they planning down? So the van stock, it's not going to be anything like that. We're just thinking of a little casual meetup for people to come and hang out and check out each other's rigs. And it doesn't matter if you're Canadian or you're a U.S. citizen. You don't need a passport. Everyone can meet there and mingle, and it'll be just a fun time. So we'll talk about that a bit later, guys. Don't worry about it. David Norris, Firefly, says, I'm still working on getting me a Class B, but in the meantime, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. I've learned a lot by watching all your videos and all the information that you give out to the world, as well as the private message on how to do intros and any other information that I had. You rock. Thank you. Well, thank you so much as well, Norris. David Norris, sorry. And thank you everyone else for watching and for your questions. And I'm sorry I can't get to everyone. It would just be impossible. And I certainly can't answer all the questions that come into my inbox. So I hope you all understand that and respect that. I have a lot of other things to do in my life. This channel is secondary to the other projects that I'm doing. So I'll do what I can. And I will do another Q&A probably within a week or so. So drop your questions below on this video, and I'll get to them when I get a chance, guys. All right, keep on rocking in the free world, everyone.
Keep on rocking in the free world. Yeah.
Freedom is sexy. JustIncredible.tv.
Stick up for freedom. Get your Keep on Rockin' in the Free World sticker now at justincredible.net.